So here we are, the video of King Seti I, second king of the 19th dynasty. So Seti succeeded his father Ramesses I, and he was in the military caste for ever since he was a young boy, trained to be a soldier, a general, a leader of men. Seti was named after the god Set, and Set and Horus brought equilibrium to Egypt. They brought mart, order. You've got Horus, who is goody two-shoes, looks after the people, the best benefactor, the go-between the people and the gods and that sort of thing. But let's face it, being goody two-shoes can be quite boring after a while. So you've got Set or Seth on the other side, who is the party animal, doesn't really care about the people, lets his hair down on the weekends. So that gives balance to Egypt. His throne name was Menemet Ra, which means the established justice of Ra. So that was going to be his mandate for the Egyptian people, to bring justice in the name of Ra to the people. So that meant making sure that the courts and the tribunals were working properly and the right people were appointed. He had between 11 and a 15-year reign. Now it's highly controversial on the length of his reign and when he actually did rule. That's why I prefer to use dynasties and say he is the second king of the 19th dynasty. His wife was Tuya, and his son, of course, was also called Ramesses after his father, to become one day Ramesses II, Ramesses the Great. He fought campaigns in Asia. So Asia is sort of Mitanni, Hittite country. Libya, of course, the incursions coming in from the desert, the raiders attacking villages along the River Nile from the desert. There was a rebellion in Kush in year 8, which he didn't personally sort out himself. We possibly think that he sent Ramesses II in charge of the army to give him a bit of experience at putting down this rebellion. That was in year 8. He's fought quite a few battles in Canaan, and one particular tribal town gave him a lot of problems, very argumentative. They were later to be known as the Hebrews. What his claim to fame is Kadesh. Now, Kadesh fell away as an Egyptian protective during the reign of Akhenaten, and Seti made it his mission to recapture it, Kadesh. And he was successful. They attacked the city, they used ladders and shields and all those sorts of things to get into the city. They captured it, but they never garrisoned it, and it was simply because it became a Hittite protectorate. So as soon as they left, it was retaken by the Hittites. But what's interesting is that possibly he made a point to the Hittites that he had the power to do this. So if we look at the map, this situation of the three powers, you've got Mitanni, which is declining, the Hittites who are rising, and Egypt has been there for thousands of years. So the buffer zone is the retinue, which is Canaan. That's the buffer zone for Egypt, and beyond that is Amuru, which is under Hittite control. That's Syria. So obviously 11 years, and he built the biggest tomb in the Valley of the Kings, the longest one, KV 17, 138 odd meters, plus a secret passage behind the sarcophagus, which again is 20-30 meters long. Wow. So remember Horemheb, he reorganized the workers at the village of Dela Medina, and he made them more productive. probably with provisions, because every time a king came to the throne, I mentioned this before in other videos, they sent a caravan of goods to the workers' village of supplies while they were working, but also luxury goods as well, oil and wine and cows to give fresh milk, and small animals like sheep, maybe a few pigs chucked in. And that was supposed to encourage the workers. So what they're doing now is they're mining out the shafts, and then they are plastering the walls, and then on top of the plaster they're putting the artwork. If you look at the plan of Seti, those larger chambers, as you come down that descending passageway, was probably originally going to be a burial chamber. King's still alive, we finished the project, let's carry on. Now let's carry on again. So that's how these tea tombs progressed from this time onwards. So you cut something, you didn't smooth over the walls, you plastered them with gypsum plaster, you put on the artwork, you covered them up, and then you continued mining. So that was the way that they created these tombs in the Valley of the Kings. Coffin was made out of calcite alabaster. It was removed from the tomb, and originally it was offered to the British Museum, but they refused to pay £2,000, and then it was sold to a private collector. The private collector was called Mr. Soames, and his house is now a museum. So if you want to go and see Seti I sarcophagus, it's in the Soames Museum in London. It's a rare piece of stone. No doubt it was an expensive stone cut from the quarries of Hatnub, but if you look closely at the detail there, it wasn't great craftsmanship, that's for sure. Unfortunately, the king was under 40 years of age when he died. His tomb was robbed in antiquity sometime, and then the priest reburied him in the Della Bakri cache, which was found in 1881, and his mummy was examined then, and the guesstimate is that he was under 40 years of age when he died, so a very young man indeed. Thanks for your time, take care, see you soon, bye for now.